It's an email breakdown.
Email's not dead.
Hey everyone, it's another episode of Email Breakdown with me, Naj, Marketing Alchemist. You look great today. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. Very different because I've got my friend Hillel with me. Hey Hillel.
Hey Naj, so great to be here. Thank you so much.
For friends watching, could you tell them a little bit about yourself and your work?
Sure. So if you don't know, I'm Hillel Berg. I'm in the email space. I'm known primarily as the host of the Inboxing podcast, but I also have my own e-commerce email marketing agency, and we're doing great work for the brands.
So what we're going to do today is I picked out 3 emails from different brands. We're going to dig into the design of the email and see what we can learn, see if there's any inspiration. And since you're an e-commerce expert, Hillel, I've picked 3 e-commerce examples specifically, and I'd love to get your experience and your input from your point of view. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first one, because the rest of my episodes have been me talking about emails I've designed, so I thought it would be funny if we picked out one that I designed a long time ago, and I give you a blessing to roast it because it is from quite a while ago, so that's fine. My feelings will not be hurt. Yeah, just a bit of context before we rip into this one. This is from my first job in the UK as a marketing manager for Letteroom, which is a personalized gifts company. It was really cool because you could, any sort of product that you could stick a name on or personalize, you could probably find it on Letteroom. This was a sale email specifically for springtime. And so what we would tend to do is curate a bunch of gifts that made sense, obviously, for that time of year. And this one, obviously, green-fingered gifts. There's a lot I do differently looking at this now. I haven't looked at this for a little while. But Hillel, I'd love to get your first impressions of this email.
The first thing that really pops out to me is there's a lot. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but the menu bar is a lot of items.
Yeah.
Yeah, here so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There's so many.
Yeah. This first of all, it's a lot. It's the paradox of choice. Even just in general, menus in email, I'm not a huge fan, although they often get clicked. So it's not a terrible thing, but I definitely would recommend limiting them. And another reason for that is on mobile, what happens here? Yeah. Did those 6 stack and push down the entire content of the email by a full scroll? Or even if it was, you can limit it, or you're doing some kind of cool dynamic code where some people don't see it, but for sure not everyone is not seeing it. And it's just a mess. That's way too much.
Yeah, exactly. Because you want to get into the meat of the email anyway, and so looking at this now, I'm like, oh, why did we take up that precious real estate up top with a menu? It just doesn't make sense for me.
100%. 100%. The other thing I would say is that there's no voice behind the email.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
I mean, I like a paragraph of text. I like it to sound like it's from somebody. Put a personality into it. Yeah. Even if it's just block copy, but at least it's some copy, some real copy. It's also from an accessibility standpoint, even if you don't have images load, there's something to read. What the signal's about before everything loads. Yeah. And it's definitely an image heavy email.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But it is from a design perspective, it's very pretty. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
The imagery is really good. The overlay. I'm curious also on mobile, that new spring back on schedule. For sure, that's not changing. Right. So on mobile, that's going to be almost unreadable.
Yeah. It's tiny.
Really right. Super tiny, and the button also is a ghost button.
Yeah.
That almost gets lost even on desktop.
So first of all, I want to talk about the voice. And I actually think this has changed probably as recently as maybe in the last 5 years that I'm seeing much more of a copywriting voice in emails now as a standard. Whereas I feel like at the time I was designing this, I feel like it was pretty normal for people to just be like splashy all image emails. And I think like that's probably why this was designed like that. And also I think the feeling was like probably within the company, we spent so much budget on like really beautiful images. So it was kind of like a feeling of like, let's put every single beautiful image in it. But yeah, you are absolutely right. I think there's something to be said about having like a really great personable voice that just sets the context as well, you know, not really expecting people to just immediately convert as soon as they see something. So yeah, that's super interesting. From what I remember, I think this email was designed in MailChimp. And so it's not like it was going to look vastly different on desktop versus mobile, or there was a dynamic thing going on here. So I think everything would have been squished down and it would have been impossible to read on mobile. So if I was designing this today, I'd make sure that like actually all of the elements were like live text as much as possible. And I would probably make sure that the shop now buttons were like a bright contrasting color against that green.
I mean, do you think that the header, like the header menu or the top nav, like that was also one image really, like all linked to like the homepage? Or
so that's a great question. So like this thing up, so the new personalized bestsellers, that was all live text, but it doesn't look great.
Right.
It doesn't look
no,
great.
and then again, like
yeah. And also, like, why would you have it there?
right. Like him, her, like go to the website, you'll figure it out. Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, also the other cool thing is that if you're segmenting your emails, right, you know, especially for e-commerce, there's so much space to play with sending gifts for him, gifts for her, you know, so you would probably be tackling that anyway, like throughout your content calendar.
Right. Yeah. That's a really good point.
So actually one thing I would say, because you're probably going to pitch in with something similar, but like the fonts are crazy. They're not legible at all. So I would go with like a much more basic font, because like pretty doesn't equal to conversions, right? I think that's the thing about like marketing. I feel that with design, people can go a little bit over the top and not think about, well, what are the basics here?
Right, for sure. Let's see, a personalized gardener's diary.
Yes. Personalized gardener's diary, letters, sign type, greetings card, personalized zinc buckets in a tray. Very like mom.
Right. Well, Mother's Day.
Yeah, mom related gifts.
This was Mother's Day. You know, like right, and you have that banner across the middle. I wonder if it got more clicks than like the top image. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised. I wish I had like the stats from this, but I think we did tend to do well with the emails, but I think there was certainly more space to like optimize for like just having more live text and having, like you say, having more of a voice as well.
Yeah. And also, like, I mean, like that kind of touches on that, like, email is kind of easy. Yeah. like, hey, like,
hey, tell people.
I mean, like,
yeah.
You don't have to be a rocket science to like make money with email. Like you have a strong brand. You've been in business for 30 years. You know, you have a big list. You send emails, you know, about the plans you have available for Mother's Day. It's going to make a lot of money. Like it doesn't really need necessarily all these things.
No.
But in retrospect, like, yeah, this could be done so much better.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, and like, I'd love to get your take on this, but for me, like, the struggle was to have fresh designs that didn't turn into wallpaper every time an email came out for like a specific promotion or a campaign. And so for me, I would like, it would be like a struggle to try and find like new ways to like reshuffle everything and like change things around. But like, how about you? Is that, do you have that with your clients? Do your clients feel like all our emails are starting to look a bit samey? Like, how do you kind of tackle that kind of thing?
There is like a sameness, I guess, about a lot of our emails, but like the offers are changing and like the, like it takes a lot of creativity, I guess, like to be, you know, always doing something a little different. Yeah. You know, like repackaging sales and, now it's BOGO, now it's it's clearance.
No, it's free shipping.
It's the blowout. No,
Yeah.
it's right, exactly.
Yeah,
Like all these
yeah.
different things, and then content emails. So then you can have a little more fun and make it more engaging with actual text and imagery.
Yeah.
The sales emails more or less look the same. We're using a template, and but they are adapting. We have actually a new designer on board. Started recently. Yeah, and like her designs are very different. Like it's sort of upscaling like a low cost brand.
Wow.
It's pretty wild actually. And people are loving it.
That's really cool. I think that's kind of the magic with design, right? You can do so much with just basically what's pixels on the screen. Like you can completely change the tone of a brand and like make it and break the pattern as well. Because I think when you're sending newsletters every week and then you have a sale, you then want to make sure that you break the pattern. You're like, oh, this isn't just one of the normal newsletters. So I think there's something really cool there. Okay, well, thank you. You were very kind otherwise with my not so great email. So thank you for that. I picked this one because it's for Casper, which is a mattress brand. So mattress and like big purchases like that are always interesting to me because how often are you purchasing mattresses? Not very often.
Right.
One would assume. And so I think there's this whole thing around like how do you nurture people, what sorts of emails are you sending out? It's going to be completely different to something like a gifts brand or food brand, something fast
moving. Commodity, right? Like
yeah
when your sales cycle could be like years.
Oh, absolutely. But this is obviously a sale email.
Can you zoom in? Like we just see like the header and it's hard I think to read the copy.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go into it. Yeah, and that's the thing as well. I feel like there's a couple of things here that maybe could be done differently. I think my first thoughts, just looking at the overall email, there's a very like premium look to the color palette, right? Because I think that muted look immediately says premium. But some things can be a little bit too muted. So these things up here are, it's almost like, what's the point of them being up there, I guess is my question. If I can barely see them. But they must be testing their emails. So there's probably a good reason why they're up there. But for me, I'm blind as a bat. So I probably wouldn't be able, I really struggle to see like that color against white. But it looks nice.
It's supposed to be like background. Like it's not really, that they don't want you to click on that stuff. They just think like you might want to click on that.
Yeah. But if that's the thinking, I would probably err towards taking stuff out in that case, just because everything should be, for me anyway, I think everything should lead to conversion as quickly.
Yeah. I'm surprised a little bit to see the shop.
Yeah.
Like FAQ makes a lot of sense because you're not going to find that in the email, but the entire email is leading to a shop.
Yeah. So that's interesting because like for some emails, what I've seen is they might have the logo at the top left, and then they might have like a major thing they want you to click in the top right and have it formatted like to look like a button. And so maybe that might be a thing that could have been done here.
Right.
I
like that top, real text, assuming it's real text, like why not?
Mm-hmm.
But that 4th of July, like basically summarizing the email. It's like tweeting the email.
Yeah.
It's like if the email was a tweet, it'd be that.
It's really straightforward, and there's something really refreshing about how like straightforward that is. It's like it's big text. I imagine that looks great on mobile as well. Well, let's get into the meat of the email then.
Is this new? Is this like July
4th? This is one of the brand new emails I picked off their homepage this morning actually, so it's fresh. So
I wonder what the star is for, because like they really want you to see it. Like,
the asterisk. That's always the question. Whenever you have like something starred, you immediately brings up the question of like, okay, what's the
is it down there?
Offer okay, so it's the offer expiry excludes hybrid pillow. So it's just like some
It's like on the basic set, not like our super expensive set.
Yeah, not the hybrid pillow. Yeah, 25%.
Okay, actually no, like this is really nice.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah,
it is nice, and it's probably also real imagery.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it might be. Actually, it might not be. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, they know.
And they would know. It looks real to me, and that's what's important, right?
Right.
Ultimately.
Right. Yeah, it's like a nice. It's very clean. Like 25% off your perfect bed set. Like, okay, that's a good deal. 25 a lot.
Yeah.
And they have real text to there. I guess they're trying to encourage you and like upselling you already.
Mm-hmm.
That you know, you get more stuff. Right. Like right now, I'm thinking like, what is the Casper bundle? Like, but then right under it.
Yeah, right under it, it goes into
it's
proactive about that, and it immediately goes into, okay, what's inside the Casper bundle? And is this what you mean by having a voice? Just these little bits of copy under each item? Yeah.
It's, I mean, like it's sort of like a journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like okay, well, what is it? I mean, I was thinking about buying a mattress. Well, what is the Casper bundle? Oh, it's right there. I guess it's like thinking, like taking the customer point of view, you know, like trying to be like, okay, we send this email. What is someone going to say? Or like, what are people asking? Let's answer the public about Casper.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's such a great thing. Like if you have the benefit of being like a brand that's been around for a little while and, you know, you get a fair amount of traffic, you're probably going to be able to do a little bit of research around like what are common questions around your brand or maybe even your product, and you can use that or you can leverage that in your email copy, which is very cool. I really like that thinking, like shop the Casper bundle. What's the Casper bundle? Here it is.
Right.
Very, very cool.
But there is nothing really to like get you to scroll. You know what I mean? There's no like visual to indicate like keep going. You know?
Keep going. And so
there's a hard It's like a hard.
It's a hard rectangle.
Right. Exactly. There. So like a lot of people will just click the first shop button and not notice.
Yes.
You know what's next. So I would hope like the landing page also talks about what's inside the Casper bundle.
Yeah.
Well, we can't see that.
That's such a great point, actually, because email is a vertical medium. I started implementing as part of like an email design kind of language, something like, so I call them like scroll down mechanisms, and they're basically like bits of design that were to make sure that people would scroll down because of the way they were shaped. So it could have been like arrows, or it could have been maybe making
like a slanty.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe making the bottom of this picture like that V shape, so you know you're kind of led down.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, that'd be like cool design, like to indicate, like to keep your eye going.
Yeah,
like by default.
Yeah, exactly. And I've even seen some brands use maybe like squiggly elements, you know, to like break up the rectangles, and that can look quite nice, like if it matches the branding.
Right. I also think it's a good idea. Like I'm happy to see, like they're not just selling a mattress. Like it's like, oh, you get like because if I need a mattress, like I probably need a sheet set, I probably need pillows, I probably need all this stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And even a mattress protector. Like I never got a mattress protector with my mattress. And if you have people with allergies, that's like a very big necessary. Or if you have little kids, mattress protector is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, exactly. Or fur babies that love to jump onto the bed with you as well. 100%. I think having. I mean, that's a lesson that I feel like every industry can learn from Ecom, is the art of upselling, or you know, like bundling
products,
peripherals and that kind of thing. Because again, with mattresses, how often are you buying mattresses? Probably not often, but you might be buying the rest of this other stuff a little bit more often than the like core thing, right? So very cool stuff. And I thought we could have a quick look at the footer as well. I'm fascinated by footers for some reason, because I feel like every single business does them slightly differently. So
Emily Ryan's going to be doing a session about footers at Fitness Live.
Oh my god, I can't wait. I can't, honestly. I can't wait to see the humble footer. So we've got mattresses bundles on sale. That's nice.
Oh, you're saying those like 3? Yeah.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah.
It seems a little bit like spaced out a little strangely, I think. Unless they want to like give sale like some breathing room. Like,
yeah. Maybe.
But I like the upsell. I like that they have a call to, to join the SMS.
Yes.
Right there. And I wonder if it's dynamic. I wonder if they see who's on, if they're using an MSC to only show that the people that are not signed up already for SMS.
That is very cool, actually. That's a great idea, I think, as well, because it's like that added value, and it's like the stuff that is adjacent to your product. So mattresses, sleep tips, obviously. I think sleep is a big concern. I feel like for people now, lots of people I know have trouble sleeping. I certainly have trouble sleeping sometimes. So you might think, oh yeah, that kind of seems like quite a nice thing for me to take advantage of.
Right.
So they've got a mattress quiz. They've got a referral, again, very important for e-commerce. And they've got find a store, also very important.
That's interesting because I didn't even know they were available in stores.
Oh, there you go. If you've learned something new from our email breakdown.
Yeah, so they were like a DTC, online only. Great margins. I just need customers.
With find a store things as well, like for a product like mattresses, I imagine that is really quite key because not everyone is going to trust the process of like buying a mattress online. Like you have to feel it, right?
Well, they have like a guarantee, I think. I mean, a really strong guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I heard Casper ads like listening to podcasts.
Oh, yes.
2016, 2015, 2017.
Yeah.
At some point, they were like all over that. That and I forget the name of the toothbrush. But Casper was all over it. And it was interesting to me, like the whole idea of a DTC mattress. Like, the truth is, it's been around forever in the sense, like in the States anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And 1-800-MATTRES and leave off the last S for savings.
Wowzers.
And that was they run TV ads, and I'm 42 years old. It's a long, and that's a long time in my head.
Oh, TV ads. That's so strange to say now as well. Like, don't you think like a brand running TV? I mean, obviously it still happens, but I feel like the way I interact with ads now is through like YouTube or
television ads. Probably the cost of running television ads has come down significantly.
Quite a bit, but I think the premiums on that must. It'd be interesting to take a look at the stats on that. But there you go. There's Casper. I mean, are there any sort of like takeaways you get from this email that people could maybe apply to their own emails?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea to do like a really quick summary at the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really implementable, and also it's part of the design.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot, and I'd recommend something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The center, I always like center-aligned logos because it always, on mobile it'll always be in the middle. Like you don't have to worry about it moving around and stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
But it's like a really nice email. They did a really good job. I'm just curious, like if it's all real on mobile, like does it break? Like how does it work with the background image? If it is a background image, or maybe if you scroll up, I'm wondering this. Scroll up a second.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's not a background image, like from under the button. Is that solid? Is that a solid color? Like above her head? Like is that an image? Or it looks like there's some kind of shadow
like an image. Yeah, that looks like an image.
Right, because there's some kind of shadow going on there.
Yeah.
Because that would be cool if they broke it up like that. Because then what they could do is, now I'm talking like an email coder, but they could use a solid background color on that background image. Because what will happen is on mobile, that text will become more like a paragraph, and it'll push down the button, and it'll push it onto her head, unless that's a separate table. And then they could just use a solid background color to fill in that space, and it'll look a little weird, but it'll look like no one will notice really.
Yeah, I've definitely done that hack before where, if there's an image and then you can use Photoshop to sort of blend it up into a solid color, and then you can just use the solid color as the background for to put the text over. Yeah. yeah. That's a great hack actually for designing something and making sure that it doesn't break on most things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the palette is lovely. I think this is such a good case for like, like limit your palettes, make it look. It just makes it look really premium as well.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really does. I mean, they're
yeah.
using like not a lot of colors here at all. I mean,
Not at
like their brand colors look like this dark blue, the light blue, white.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's
it
nice.
looks
It's
like
simple. Really simple.
really
Yeah.
nice.
Cool. Okay, so I have one last email, and again, a completely different vibe, completely different product. And also like this is fresh from really good emails as well, I believe. So this is another a brand that I'm not aware of, but that's a great thing about good branding, right? You immediately like and good marketing, you immediately know like what's going on, what sort of vibe you're in for, which is immediately the feeling I got here. There's a very cool thing here happening, which is like, what's our new flavor? It won't be a secret much longer. So they've like blurred it out. So like, oh,
Right.
that intrigue.
The suspense is killing us.
Drama, the drama. Oh my god, the soy. So yeah, okay. Let's do first impressions. What are your first impressions of this? Just looking at this like that. It's quite a
Okay.
short email.
My first thought is like, what's the soy? You know, like
Yeah. Oh.
never heard of them. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know where they are in the world. Like when they say domestic shipping, is that the U.S.? I assume it's the U.S. It's dollars. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, right away, they really want you to know about free shipping.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the very first thing you see.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Like there's not much to pull you away from looking down. Like it's just free shipping, logo, main image, and then just in time for summer. We didn't get into. We're just looking at the design. I'm just curious what the subject line was.
The subject line is "This will make your day."
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what the pre-header is then, but they don't give you the pre-header.
No, they don't give you the pre-header. No. And so if they didn't give you the pre-header, and if this company hadn't written anything, it most likely would have been
the free domestic shipping. Right.
Or just over $50. So like actually, first things first, like is this something you would recommend having like free shipping, sort of like right
on top? I guess it depends. Like how much maybe their audience doesn't realize there's free shipping available. Like maybe it's something new that they want to make sure people know.
Yeah.
Because shipping is a huge drop off in conversions.
Yeah.
Like enormous. If you're doing e-commerce and you have paid shipping, come up with some arrangement where you could offer free shipping. Because
for sure,
people will double and triple their order if they want if they can get free shipping with it. So that's a really good point. And then in terms of the blurring out the thing and just in time for summer. I mean, I like that they have copy. Real copy, and it's right there. And what's our new flavor? So much longer. You get the taste of Secret's ultimate sip very soon. Spread the word while you wait. Stock up on your favorite flavor. So interesting that they they want to tease the new flavor that's coming, but at the same time, also why not try to get some orders?
Yeah.
So it was interesting how they kind of turned that around. I mean, they could have just left it engaging, without trying to turn it into a sale.
Yeah,
because somebody needs to sit, they have the logo on top. You know what I mean? It's not hard to find a way to get to the website.
Yeah, I think it is surprising though. We as marketers, we're much more savvy about the fact that when you click on a logo, it leads to the homepage, of course. But actually, I think having a button that says "Shop Now" really does make all the difference for people sometimes. Especially also to scroll back up is effort, isn't it? It's effort. But yeah, you're right. I feel like it's a smart way to get people to the website while they're kind of rolling out the red carpet for this new flavor. And then we've got this interesting bit here, which just shows how you drink the soy. Tag us on Instagram at Drink the Soy. So a little bit of user-generated content, UGC happening. Very cute pictures. Is this something that you recommend, something you implement in your own clients' emails?
I think it depends. I mean, I assume they're very reliant on social media for acquisition. And so, if that's one of your big channels, then definitely, include UGC.
Mhm.
To me, this doesn't look like UGC. To me, it looks like their own Instagram.
Yeah, these look very, very styled, very good.
Very styled, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I think it'd be very cool if they already had people, like sharing stuff and tagging the soy.
Mhm.
Like then that would be awesome to share.
Yeah.
And so it's like it kind of. I feel like it's like a little bit of a miss, like showing your own Instagram reel or whatever your a few tiles of content you're sharing. But it's a good idea to try to, but I feel like that needs to be like part of like the welcome series, not like necessarily part of your email.
Part of like a product announcement.
Right, or like maybe you come up with a more engaging, like, have you done this yet?
Interesting. Yeah. Like posing it as a question.
Right.
Actually, that's a great copywriting hack, right? When you pose something as a question, it immediately invites an answer.
I feel like nobody is posting about the Psy because of this. This.
Oh, my apologies, Hillel. So they've actually got something, the soir. So it's
the soir?
The soir. So that makes me think of like Zapier. Zapier makes you happier, kind of thing. Everyone says it's Zapier, but then they started like putting.
They started Zapier makes you happier. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so I wonder, like, if you're a newish brand and if you know that people are gonna like mispronounce it like I did for the first bit, maybe I would put it like even like below the logo up top, because like as a like name recognition like brand thing.
Is it canned wine? I'm just curious.
I have no idea. It says
here. I'm gonna Google it.
Okay, this is what I'm guessing. This is probably like
it's non-alcoholics.
Non-alcohol. Yeah.
Natural adaptogens.
Okay.
I don't know what an adaptogen is.
That sounds fancy.
It sounds very fancy. It's founded by Katy Perry and Morgan McLaughlin.
I wonder if that's Katy Perry in the image there. I can't actually tell, but it's interesting.
It probably is.
It's interesting that it's a celebrity brand where you don't really see much of the celebrity in it.
Right. Or even like, why not pretend Katy Perry wrote the copy? Like, it's Perry. It actually came up. I'm like waiting for my episode with Val Geisler to come out, but that was something she mentioned. Like, if you have a celebrity behind you, pretend they're talking in the emails.
Yeah, I mean, in the industry, we call it ghostwriting. A little bit of ghostwriting would help, I believe, because
it would go a long way for sure.
Yeah, if you have such a recognizable name attached to your brand, you would probably want to use it as much as possible. Kind of like with Ryan Reynolds and Aviation Gin, or any of those other ones that have popped up.
Right, Prime.
Yep, absolutely.
It's crazy, like how many of these, like now like soda too. Like kind of brands there are.
Yeah, celebrity-led brands. So that's really interesting. So I don't know. I mean, if I had like a resource like a celebrity, I would probably be using as much of them as possible in the email design and the marketing touch points.
I think also notice in the footer it says the soy offers free domestic shipping on orders over 50. Okay, so it's the same offer where they said okay, but it's at 100 before you scrolled.
No,
so it's the same offer as they put on top. Okay, I thought maybe it was like a special that they were doing on top, but it's not special.
No, I think it's just a term, like terms and conditions, right? Not valid on shipping to Hawaii or Alaska. Now TikTok's become such a giant within the marketing sort of landscape that I'm starting to see the TikTok symbol in here.
Definitely.
Obviously, that wasn't the case like a few years ago.
But for sure, and especially in this space. And like, but it's just becoming everywhere. Like it's already kind of everywhere. Like because the engagement on TikTok is insane.
I like the fact that they're not on like 10 different 10 different social media channels. Because sometimes you'll see an email and you'll be like, oh my goodness, they're on like so many different social media channels. How is someone managing them all?
It's a general lesson. Keep it simple. Pick 1, 2, 3. Don't.
dominate in those channels first before you kind of like go on to other ones. Because I think the thing I always say, like each social media platform is its own biome. Like I think of it as its own ecosystem. The way people behave on each social media channel is different.
Right.
You know, the way people like the language that is used is different. I think that brings us to. I mean, are there any sort of like takeaways you get from the SWA?
Oh, I mean, it's cool to use like some Instagram stuff in there,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it'd be great if you can use like real. You know who does that actually?
Mhm.
Brand I love, British, Wool and the Gang.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, in the
I
game.
love their emails.
Yeah.
They're awesome. But they use a lot of social media, and they get people. They have like a really rabid. I mean, that's the right word. But a really, a really engaged audience that like loves them
Yeah, yeah,
and posts on Instagram with the sweater they knitted and the scarf they knitted and like and the dress they needed. So
yeah.
good for them.
Yeah, I think if you're so what usually happens, because obviously this isn't live, this is just a series of images, and probably when you're curating the images from your Instagram or like UGC, you'd probably curate like the most real looking ones, right? Like the ones that look most authentic and not so styled.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have real Instagram engagement where people are posting with the product,
Mhm.
if you're getting that, like find the better ones and use
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Instagram isn't even supposed to be like this like super curated, like studio shot. It's supposed to be kind of real.
There's this thing about like authenticity on social media. There seems to be like this tension between like what does that mean or what does that look like on social media, and even if it looks kind of real, there might be like loads of scripting and stuff like that behind the scenes, but people aren't necessarily going to know that. So I feel like we saw lots of different like tips and tricks that like e-commerce use, but was there anything that you felt like these three kind of examples missed out on that you use?
Like I really like Casper. I mean, the soy,
Mm,
it was okay. I mean, like it didn't really rub me any way or the other.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And the first one, it just looked like it was from like 2015.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
and it was. It's a period piece.
I mean, the lessons are like, I guess, like consider what it looks like on mobile because
Yeah.
most people will be reading it first on their phone.
100%, especially for e-commerce.
Consider also what you want to put in the header. I thought it was a sort of like a smart way that Casper finagled it. Like kind of muted things there.
Yeah.
Thought that was like kind of smart. And then like we actually saw like like pretty much abandoning any kind of call to action above the main image with the soy or the swab.
The SWA, yeah, the SWA. Sometimes with e-commerce, there is a struggle to like put out an email or two every week. And sometimes what you then get is like emails that are clearly like padding out the content calendar. And so sometimes I feel like because it's easy for emails that have a clear objective to design the email, I found it is like, okay, here's a sale. This clearly like calls to action. We know what this is about. But when you have this like emails that are like the in-between emails, it becomes very difficult to be like, what's the call to action on this one? Let's get them to the shop. It's fine. I think the big lesson is like be very clear on the objective of every email.
Right. I mean, like
it's difficult.
Yeah, I mean that reminds me of like when Elliot Ross was on Inboxing. Like that was one of his like number ones. Like every email needs to have an objective. Yeah. And then that drives everything about the email.
Every element of design becomes the funnel for like the objective of that email. So like for Casper, I think they could have optimized it even more by having the sale button at the bottom be outlined by like
a box, postponing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, things like that. Like there's so many different little ways that you can optimize for your objective in email design. That's why I love it so much. That's why we're talking about it now.
I wonder if like the SWA.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, maybe did themselves a little bit of a disservice. Like
Mhm.
that, like if you're doing an email about your mystery flavor,
Yeah.
like keep it about the flavor. Like I feel like they didn't need to like,
Mm.
oh, and if you need more de soie,
Yeah.
like here's a
Yeah,
button that'll take you to the
get to the
website and you
shop.
can order more. Right. Like
Oh, that's a fun idea, actually. Maybe
sort of
you
like
could make it like a competition. Maybe that is like an opportunity
right.
for
Like
like an
guess,
online product.
right. Go to Twitter, go to Instagram, guess,
Yeah.
like the lucky winner. If you
Yeah.
guess our flavor, like you'll get, a free case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for
Easy,
e-commerce, that's
easy.
like the lifeblood of like the email list, right? Getting these
Right.
emails through competitions and stuff.
Right, especially social media. Like you get a
Mhm.
million people commenting on your thread on social media, and then all their friends are seeing that they wrote cherry and they wrote watermelon and they wrote
Absolutely.
rhubarb.
Somebody inexplicably wrote roast beef. What? Um, okay, well, I think that brings us sadly to the end of email breakdown. I had so much fun. Um,
Yeah, this was
uh,
awesome.
this is awesome. Yeah. So, is there like any? Have you got any like upcoming projects you want to plug?
Not really.
Not really.
We're wrapping up season 3 of Inboxing. We're releasing episode 11 today, which is Monday.
Very cool.
Yeah, hoping to get to 14. I have to invite 2 more people. But I think I might already have to actually. I should check my LinkedIn messaging. But there's that, and just always, looking to bring in new clients and do great work for them in the e-commerce space.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for everyone watching this slightly unhinged show that I just started for some reason.
Yeah, and next time let's make it alive. I feel like this
Yeah.
could have been such live content. It would have been really fun and engaging for anyone
Yeah.
who's bored scrolling through LinkedIn.
Hey, it's me, Nudge. I'm back again. So thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of the episode. That's so cool of you. It was a lot of fun talking to Hillel, and you can find him on all of these places here. I'm gonna put them there. And yeah, I'm thinking about making this more of a regular thing. So if you think that would be useful to you, you found inspiration, you found best practices, let me know. I'm just going to keep recording more of these, and hopefully with even more friends in future. So if you're a fellow email geek and you want to break down some email designs with me, just give me a shout. I'd love to do that, especially if you wanted to talk about emails you've designed specifically. That would be really cool. In the meantime, I'm going to say bye.